There's nothing.
We'll let them show back up. I know he's here somewhere. We'll go ahead and get started. Good evening and welcome to the Fort Smith City Board of Directors regular meeting this October 21st of 2025. Again, these meetings are being televised live for the benefit of residents who cannot be with us in person. Okay. At this time, I will do the invocation and I'll ask Director George Cassavas to lead us in the pledge. Most gracious Father, we come once again thanking you for this day. Father, we thank you for the many blessings you've placed upon our city, and we pray that you will continue to do so. Give us the guidance and wisdom we need to conduct the business of our city, where it will continue to prosper. These and all other blessings we ask in his Son's name, and for his sake we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, if you would please call the roll.
Directors Rigo.
Here.
Good.
Here.
Kemp.
Here.
George Katsavas.
Here.
Christina Katsavas. Kevin Settle. Neil Martin.
Okay, thank you very much. At this time, I'll ask if there's any presentation from a board member of any item that's not already on the agenda.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
I would just make a request of administration. Could we revisit at a future study session the non-consent towing issue? I know we talked about that perhaps last year or maybe 9 odd months ago. And I think it's something that we need to look at again when there's an opportunity to do so.
Okay, so noted. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else? If not, we will ask for the approval of the October 14th, 2025 regular minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Just a couple of reminders that we do have to have a motion and a second to adopt each of the following items on our agenda, and also for public comments on items must pertain to the presented item only. With that, we will go to the first item, which is the consent agenda.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight's consent agenda consists of 5 items as follows: a resolution authorizing the necessary agreements for employee insurance coverage, a resolution accepting bid for the purchase of liquid chlorine for 2025 and 26, a resolution authorizing partial payment on a contract for traffic signal improvements, a resolution authorizing a contract for construction of a vehicle wash bay at solid waste, a resolution authorizing the purchase of renewable natural gas at solid waste.
Okay, thank you very much. Madam Clerk, are there any citizens' comments on any of those items?
Yes, we have Joe Elskin for item 1B.
Joe, you're recognized.
Just a general concern about every time I see that there's no competitive bidding. You know, I know we're pinching pennies and we're clawing back money everywhere, and that's the way it is right now in our city and of course really nationally. But yeah. That particular item, I thought that the question was raised earlier, and it was tabled because asking for more bids, and so I just my concern everywhere on the agenda that talks about spending money. Why? Where's the return in investment? And have we done everything we can to cut costs? Thank you for all you do.
Okay, we appreciate that. Unfortunately, sometimes we don't have any options. We must have the chemicals to treat our water, so But again, thank you for being here and speaking. Director Good, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Ms. Elskin, for asking a question. I do remember the conversation the board had. I believe it was Director Christina Kasavitz that had the concerns on the cost. She had done some preliminary searches on her own to try to find a better cost for the chemicals that we were researching. And I believe Lance had followed up with that. Lance, do you mind coming to the podium and just refreshing us on that?
Yes, sir. We actually did bid those out. So we actually contacted 3 different chlorine suppliers and asked them to provide us with a bid. 2 of those, one of which I had also talked to directly at a conference, decided not to submit a bid for whatever reason. So we actually, and this was, when I say we, I'm misspeaking, it was actually finance and purchasing that did that work. And we can't force people to bid on stuff, but we did personally contact them, sent them packets. I believe Mr. Richards could answer more on that, but this chemical is needed for treatment, as the mayor said, for the water.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Any other item for discussion?
Yes, Mayor, I would like to pull items 1A for a comment and 1D for a question.
Okay, you go ahead, you're recognized.
With 1A, I just wanted to point out, as this relates with employee insurance coverage, and we talk about the budget season and costs that are fixed and costs that we can control versus costs that we cannot. You know, you look at the first item in 1A for the memorandum when you talk about the Everest reinsurance company for our excess insurance carrier. I mean, that's going up 49% this year. And I think, you know, if you look and read and see things in your own life, you know, there are insurance costs that are increasing regardless of the service that you're providing, you know, regardless of any additional service or people or things like that. Even if you're not providing those things, the cost to provide insurance for even the same exact things you're doing from the year before has gone up, which is a cost driver. And then as it relates to 1D in the materials, and this is $1.6 million, a little bit over, for the construction of a wash bay in our solid waste service. It mentions in the materials that there were multiple bids submitted or contracts, but we only see the one in our materials that are given to us here tonight. And so, you know, I would certainly not be opposed to, if my colleagues agree, tabling item 1D so that we could see the other proposals that were that came into the city. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Good.
Thank you, Mayor. I actually wanted to pull item D also and ask Dwayne McDonald for some further information, because I had heard, either I had a conversation with a staff or heard the proposal on this months ago and had agreed then that it was something that I would vote for. Can you refresh us on this item?
Yes, sir. Good evening. The truck wash is an item that was approved as part of this year's capital improvement program in December of 2024. And the funds for it will be coming from the equipment sinking fund in solid waste. So it's money that's been set aside from our revenues to pay for future facility improvements and truck purchases and so on. The reason it's needed is to basically improve the appearance of our trucks and the maintenance of the trucks. Currently, they're washed outdoors with a hose and a brush, and you know, throughout the year and in all sorts of weather. And basically, the parts of the trucks that get washed are whatever the driver can reach with the hose and the brush. So, as you can imagine, it's somewhat incomplete. A truck wash will allow us to wash all the way around the truck, including the undercarriage, the tops of the vehicles. maintain those vehicles that we're, spending a lot of money on much better. It will also improve the working environment for the drivers and for the mechanics who work on those trucks, which you can imagine sometimes you climb under a trash truck to do some work on it, and it's been in the landfill. Sometimes they have to clean out from underneath it pretty well before they can even get started working on it. So with that, I'll ask if there are any other questions.
Thank you, Dwayne. It seems like the conversation I had when I took a tour out there, Mr. Lujan had also talked about the street conditions, how it would help improve the street conditions without, it keeps from dragging mud, trash, and so forth along our streets through the neighborhoods.
And that's correct as well. One of the it's got, like I said, an undercarriage wash, tire wash. It means that the vehicles that are leaving the landfill, particularly under muddy conditions like we saw frequently earlier this year, will be leaving the landfill a lot cleaner. They'll be dragging a lot less mud and maybe waste that gets underneath the vehicles, dragging that back out onto the streets of the city and potentially carrying that out into our neighborhoods.
Thank you, sir.
Director George Kasavage.
Sir, are you talking about automatic car wash? Or do they still have to hand wash?
No, it's automatic. So we're looking at equipment now to install inside the building, but it will wash the truck all the way around from front to back, top to bottom, while the driver just pulls into the bay and stays there for a few moments while
Just like a normal car wash.
Exactly, and it's a no-touch system. So it's simply heated water that will be washing the debris and the dirt off the trucks.
How much water do you think it would take to wash a truck? Have you ever looked into that? I'm just curious.
I've not, so I don't have a great answer for that, and I don't have anything to compare it with. We actually don't have a meter on the current hose that we're using, but that's something that we can include in this installation, so we'll know.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Dwayne, if you don't mind, could you speak some to the bidding process that this went through?
Certainly. We had 3 bids on this process. The low bid from the qualified bidder was a little bit over $1.6 million. My recollection is that the high bid was about $2.3 million. And the third one was in between. Most of the cost for this is actually going into the concrete, because the slab for this building, it's on an undeveloped piece of land. The slab needs to be able to support heavy truck traffic, of course, so it's 8 inches thick, reinforced concrete. Same thing with the driveways. The building itself is going to be a fairly simple metal building, but we need that slab and the utilities run to that area, including water, sewage, power, and so on. And those things all kind of add to the cost of it. The expected lifespan of this truck wash would be between 20 and 30 years.
Okay. Director Kemp.
Thank you, Mayor. Dwayne, good to see you tonight. Thank you for putting together a sinking fund policy. I hope other departments in the future, as we can get to the place where we do this, as we not only are getting equipment that we need, but thinking about the future. The only question I have, since we're talking about it, is there any equipment that will be delayed by saying yes to this that would delay other equipment that you're going to need? And can you speak to that priority of that?
I don't think so. We have not contracted for the actual machinery yet, and that has a shorter timeline than the building itself. So
Dwayne,
Jeff.
in terms of doing this truck wash, does that defer any trucks or collection equipment or anything else like that?
Yeah, thank you for clarification. That's what I'm asking. Like, if we do this, and then are we going to, in 3 months, 4 months go, yeah, well, we need some extra dollars to get this other truck, and we bought this car wash when we really should have thought about the trucks.
No, sir. It's really a standalone project. I don't think it impacts anything else that we're doing.
Okay.
In that terms.
That's what I want to do. Thank you for your leadership.
Okay, thank you. With that explanation, is there still an interest to pull item D off?
Well, I mean, I'd like to make a motion to table item 1D until the next regular meeting, just so we can receive all the bid information and have a chance to look at it and see what kind of went into some of that big difference in cost amongst the bids. You know, I think generally in principle, it's probably a good project to have, but typically we get a chance to look and review those things. So, you know, I just make that motion.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion and a second to table item D for further discussion. Okay?
Mayor,
Yes.
just to be clear, this was the low bid, correct? The low bid of all the bids?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Madam Clerk, are there any citizens' comments on any of these items?
Yes, we have Levon Morton for item 1C.
Okay. Levon, you're recognized.
Well, let me just say, I certainly agree on tabling this for further information. I think the board actually needs to see the numbers for the other bids. And I think the board also needs to look at the engineering estimate for this. And something that was just stated, also the board should be aware of. It sounded to me like, from what I just heard, this is the bay only. This is not the equipment. So I think the board needs to know in aggregate what's the cost of this, not just the frame, if I understood that correctly.
It includes the washing equipment.
This includes?
Yes, sir.
Well, I thought I just heard that we had not contracted for the washing equipment yet. Steve Beam's company is a construction company. They don't own this kind of equipment. So are we right or are not on this?
The bid that's under consideration this evening does not include the equipment. It's just the building, the slab, and the utilities.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you.
Well, Jeff, excuse me.
Well, again, I don't mean to be difficult. I think that in general, if we can afford it, this is a good idea, you know, and if we're having to repair the trucks and try to clean the stuff out from under them, when we do that, that's a problem for the people doing it, and we need to make working conditions reasonable. But the equipment for this is going to be expensive. And if if the board decides to do that, you know, I'll go along with the board. But we need to know all the information at one time when we approve something like this. Okay?
I think we've got a motion second.
Mayor, excuse me.
Yes, go ahead.
Did the other bids include the equipment? Did the other bids include the equipment? Is the reason they were higher or?
No, sir. The item that was put out to bid was just the building, the
No.
slab, and the utilities.
And what do you estimate the equipment to be at?
Probably on the order of 400 to 500,000. And that's another item that would come back for board approval.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. We did have a motion second. I'm sorry, Director Christina Casavas.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know we've got a motion and second on the table, so I'll be brief. You know, I'm coming into this discussion a little bit late, but we just had a study session where we were, you know, presented with a lot of information, a study, you know, kind of advocating for a rate increase, and then to bring this, and I know Steve Beam, they do great work. They do a lot of work for us. They do great work. We've always had a good relationship with them on the sidewalks and things they've done. But a $2 million car wash, and we're telling people we got to raise rates? I mean, this is why people hate government. I'm sorry. That's it. That's all for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments? I'm sorry.
I just have one for 1A, Mayor. whenever you
Yes,
have time.
go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. Administration or Jeff, who can weigh in on this. I know that the insurance costs and things are going up, and obviously that's probably a factor nationwide for a lot of people in tow. And I know that we're self-insuring, essentially. Have we ever looked at other routes and explored what those costs would look like on the increase? And then also, is there ever an increase, certain size where we would know we need to look that way? You know, I mean, if somebody could just kind of weigh into that. I see Eric standing in the back. I just had a question about that.
Certainly, and that is an evaluation that's done each year through a third-party consultant, but also I'll introduce Eric Garvin, our Director of Human Resources, to speak to that item.
Yes, every year whenever we renew our insurance, we have our broker go out and they scour the market, receive back bids, and this was actually one of the lowest bids. This is the existing provider that we have on our stop loss. The reason for that is we had a very, very large claim this year that was in excess of $2 million. We will get a majority of that back in stop loss, but as it stands right now, we're still out the expenditure for that until we receive the reimbursement. And we've also seen large increases in our pharmacy expenditures as well, and that's a big part of that is driven by just the economy at current. Pharmacy expenses are very, very high. We're up about 35% on pharmacy expenditures as well.
So this was the best look we could do, is what I hear you saying?
Yes, okay. I still feel like being a self-funded plan is way better than a fully insured plan, where we're at the mercy of the insurance company. Basically, we're working with our TPA as the insurance company.
Was there any other outside optics of things that we can use to implement that would help us, maybe offering up some sort of incentive program to this, that the companies might see that as a token of improving the health of our employees and sort of a reward system so that maybe we could drill down premiums?
I mean, again, we set the premiums. The insurance company is not setting premiums. Now, for our stop loss, that is basically just the claims exposure. So okay. What that is based off of how much we had in claims and what the high dollar claims are. And then when we have employees that have maybe chronic illnesses or things that are going to be something that's going to be continual year over year, they look at that and all of those things factor into this stop loss renewal here.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions on any item? Madam Clerk, did we have any other citizens' comments?
We do not. However, we still have the motion for 1D out on the table.
Right. We do have a motion and a second to pull to table D. So do we need a vote on that? Okay. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Director Rigo?
Yes.
Good?
Yes.
Kemp?
Yes.
George Kitsavis?
Yes.
Christina Kitsavis?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
And Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the remaining consent agenda items.
Okay.
Second.
Thank you. Are there any further comments on the consent agenda? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Director Good?
Yes.
Kemp?
Yes.
George Kitsavis?
Yes.
Christina Kitsavis?
Yes.
Rigo?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. At this time, we will go to the officials forum. I don't have anything for this evening. Director Christina Kitsavis, do you have anything for us?
Nothing for me this week, thank you.
Okay. Director George Kitsavis.
Jeff, you know, this water slide deal has really turned into something. It's you know, people are just making fun of us. It's like we're just so disorganized, and that they was like they were just, the slide was just thrown out there on the ground with no you know, concern or anything. Tell me, what can we do to correct this? I mean, it's just an eyesore.
That is the question of the day, George, and this is something I'm putting together to relay to the board, but since you asked the question, I'll tell you.
Okay.
On Friday, we did take bids on erecting the slides. We have the $4.2 million. We had $2.6 million of that we spent on purchasing the slides, getting them delivered, and all of that from the manufacturer, and got the slides here. Then we had a design contract for about $100,000. Then we had a contract with a waterworks company to assemble the slides and get the fiberglass in shape and put them together. The last piece of that is the construction, building the concrete foundations, erecting the steel.
How much was for the assembly, Jeff?
That contract was $509,000.
So we're over 4.2 million, correct?
Not yet. We have about, out of that, we have about $650,000 that is left, because the $2.6 million, there's also sales tax that applies to that amount, or much of that amount. So we have, out of that $4.2 million, we have $650,000 left that's unobligated and unspent on this project so far. So then we had that last piece of the puzzle, which is the construction contract to install the concrete foundations, like I said, erect the steel, install the plumbing, do install the pumps, and all of the things that are required to operate the slides.
Okay, what about
the electrical utilities and all of that? We took bids on that particular project on Friday.
What about more parking?
Parking is not part of the slide project.
What were the bids for the construction?
We got two bids. We got one bid for $3.2 million, and we got another bid for $2.8 million.
Just to put the slides up?
Yes, sir.
Oh, that was Jeff. That's crazy. Yeah, that's.
So that is our current problem. We have $650,000, and we have two bids from. I mean, one of them is from a company that we've used, another is from another aquatics company. But we have a big difference in the amount of money we have left and the amount of money it's going to take to erect the slides.
Jeff, that's unacceptable. You know what I'm ready to do, Jeff? And I'm going to go on record saying I'm ready to sell those slides. Take our loss and be done with it. There's no way we can afford that kind of money.
That's what I was advocating for before the 509 for the assembly was passed in April. I mean, I know Director George Kitsavis and I have been no's all along, and I still get a lot of calls, very hateful, even though I didn't vote for this, but I understand people's frustration. But how was the estimate so far off? I mean, 4.2 million was supposed to include everything. And I believe there was a director here that said he would personally guarantee it for the 4.2. So how are we so far off from the very beginning?
I can't answer that. I did not originate the estimate.
Who did?
That definitively, I don't know. I mean, I know that the previous administrator consulted with the management company on costs that they've seen in the industry on the other parks and projects that they've had, and I believe the dollar amount came from that discussion.
Okay, thanks.
Jeff?
Yes, sir.
Excuse me, Mayor. Can I talk?
Go ahead.
You know, from a business standpoint, all these costs should have been brought up front before we even bought the slides. You know, we rushed into that. I mean, discount, I don't know what kind of discount we got, but we should have had every penny accounted for to see exactly what this is going to cost. I mean, y'all think? So, it won't hurt my feelings to sell those things. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Kemp.
Thank you, Mayor. I did get a call today that I actually think is a valid concern I wanted to bring on just public record and ask administration to look into it. The railroad crossing at Zero Street by the Walmart and that cafe there, the interchange around 71 Highway and Zero there, that crossing is numbered 434-547T, as in Tom. It has a phone number on the sign that is not in working order. And so this resident has spoke with our street department, which they said, you know, you need to talk to the highway, which they did do. And then the highway said, well, you need to talk to the railroad. Well, then they go to the railroad sign, the number's not even right. But then he's persistent enough to finally get a hold of someone with the railroad company. And they even acknowledged to him that they didn't do a good job fixing it. And, you know, they don't know when they're going to do this. And I know that this may be out of our purview, but sometimes the squeaky wheel gets the grease. So I'm here to squeak that railroad crossing needs to be addressed. He even commented as he drove over the railroad crossing, a semi was traveling beside him and bounced you know, being in that air ride seat, bounced up noticeably in the vehicle as he was trying to document the sign. So I just would love for this to be looked at. I mean, the sign's labeled Fort Smith Railroad Company. I'm assuming they are the ones that we need to be holding accountable. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Director Good?
Nothing tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay. Director Rego?
No.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Administrator?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you. At this time, we're going to go into executive session, and we will be making the following appointments: to the Advertising and Promotion Commission, to the Fire Code Board of Appeals and Adjustments, and also to the National League of Cities. Okay. Oh. We're going to reconvene. Director Lee Kemp has something.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. In the spirit of railroad talk, I forgot to talk about another important item. So the city administrator application process did close on the 16th, and the HR department has been forwarding those resumes to us as board of directors. One of the things we need to do is talk about our next steps, and the one thing that I, as a liaison, wanted just to throw out there for us and just get a temperature for us as a board is to allow the HR department to identify the top 5 to 8 candidates and then alphabetize that and then include that in a combined file to the board for an easy view, with the remaining applicants being alphabetized in order as well. But if they can also identify the top 5 to 8 based on experience related to government and executive leadership, and allow the HR department to do initial screening interviews. And then as we focus on the budget and as we get the budget hearing done by the 14th, after Thanksgiving, we could have an executive session taking the gleanings from the HR department and then have an executive session to come up with our next steps as far as either applicants to interview or whatever the board so wishes. So I'd like to mobilize HR to be working while we're working on the budget. They're working on these candidates and the candidate pool and identifying the top 5 to 8 and doing initial screenings. But is there any feedback from the board?
Sounds reasonable to me.
Okay, thank you.
I agree.
Go ahead.
I said I agree.
Yeah, but I would like to give HR some criteria, what the board is going to be looking for.
Yeah, so the initial screenings,
Like, do we need a business-oriented person, a conservative person? I mean, you know, whatever the board thinks is the best.
yeah, at this point, the only criteria, which we can ask them to do that if we'd like to talk about it, the only criteria I was having them start with was sheer experience and executive leadership experience and government experience. But we can obviously, we'll have the full pool to look at. It's just having them to do some of the work on the initial of it. The initial screening interview would be more like, why Fort Smith? What would be something you'd like to see? And then also them maybe asking clarifying questions about their resume experience that they've noted. So it'd just be a soft initial screening.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. At this time, the Advertising and Promotion Commission Director Kemp is going to serve in that position. Fire Code Board of Appeals and Adjustments, Mr. Carl Nevin, and on the National League of Cities voting delegates, I will be serving on that position. At this time, I'll ask for a motion.
One more reminder, if you don't mind.
Yes, go ahead, Jeff.
Just a reminder, the next week's, we'll have a study session on October 28th, next Tuesday. That study session will be held here in the main room as opposed to the back room.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, thank you. With that, we'll entertain a motion to adopt all appointment nominations.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. With that, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you.